Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. This is the second time I've done this video. When I did it earlier, it was quiet, but now the kids are watching The Simpsons, so I apologize. I'm here to talk about my holiday reading, and when I did this earlier, I accidentally left some books out, so it's time to do it all over again. I do like in December to have holiday themed reading. It's not all that I read in December, but it is a good, there is a sizable chunk of it. So I have here, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, I think, books I'm going to try to get in this holiday season, and I wanted to share them with you. There's a little bit of everything. Actually, I should say there's 6 I want to try to get in them because one of them I've already read. I finished it today. But I have everything from nostalgia to rom-com to killing people to horror. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to start with the one that I have actually finished, and that is, I've talked about this before, A Christmas Memory by Truman Capote. So this volume has 3 short stories, and they are all autobiographical. They all deal of a time in Truman Capote's life when he was living with his mother's relatives. He was young, he was elementary school aged. His parents were going through a custody battle. They were divorced. His mother was very young. They explained that in one of the stories that his mother was very young and not really able to keep care of him. So he was just given to these aunts and uncles and cousins to raise. And he had a happy childhood there. And so these 3 stories are from that time. There are 2 Christmas stories and 1 Thanksgiving story. I do have one complaint about this book, and that's they put the Thanksgiving story last. Shouldn't the Thanksgiving story be first? It made it very hard when I was trying to track my progress on like Goodreads. I had to fudge it. But Truman Capote was called Buddy. And he, among these aunts and uncles and cousins he lived with, he had a cousin with whom he was very close. And this cousin was an elderly woman. Now, when you're 7 years old, I don't know what elderly means. I think they said at some point she's 60. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly. But he also said that she's very much a child inside, which makes me think that there were some developmental delays. But he's very close to her. And the first story is A Christmas Memory, which is just sort of a memory of his Christmas with this family and, special things that he and his friend, the friend, or Miss Sook, did together. And it's just heartwarming and sweet. The last story, which I read first, which is The Thanksgiving Memory, is a wonderful story about the time when his cousin, on behalf of him but against his wishes, invited the school bully to Thanksgiving dinner. And this all takes place, as I said, when he was living with his aunts and uncles, and he was living with them in Monroeville, Alabama, which is where he met and befriended Harper Lee. Harper Lee's not a character in this book, but if you liked To Kill a Mockingbird, and most people do, not everybody, but most people do, this is very much in line, tone-wise, with To Kill a Mockingbird. So I loved it. Now, the middle story is actually a bit darker. In that one, he receives a letter from his father, who he does not know, and says, I'm living in New Orleans, and I want you to come see me for Christmas. And he doesn't want to go. He wants to be with his family in Alabama, because that's the home he knows. That's who he, that's where he's happy. But they make him go, and his cousin, the friend, Miss Sook, tells him you might see snow, which was kind of ridiculous. He even says it. It's like, you're not going to see snow in New Orleans. So he gets to New Orleans. He's very disappointed there's no snow. He also, it's kind of a tough visit for a number of ways, but one thing that makes it kind of tough is he makes a discovery. And I'm not going to say what that discovery is, but it's one that we all make at some point. It's a little bit of a darker story, but still very, that one's a little bit more emotional. It packs a little bit more of an emotional punch to it. So I understand why it's in the middle, but again, the Thanksgiving story should have been first. So this is good. Highly recommend this one. I've not yet read any of these other books. So the next one that I have is actually a New Year's Eve book. And if you saw my video of like 10 books that I have to read, my Discord's going crazy. 10 books that I have to read before December 31st, 2024. This is the oldest book this was the oldest book on my TBR, print book on my TBR. And that's Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk. This is about an elderly woman who goes for a walk on December 31st, 1984, and reflects on her life. I've heard it's wonderful. I heard it's delightful. Maria Andrea at Books and Bocadillos, or Bocadillos and Books, sorry. I think it's Books and Bocadillos. I think I have that the right way. And I are going to buddy read it, and we're going to do our discussion in my Discord channel. So if you'd like to join us, you can do that. Just join my Discord. It's down below. I say that in every video. But I am looking forward to reading this one. I'm going to start reading it on December 4th. So this is the only one that I have like a real date to start with. Now, let's see. I think that I will go... I think I'm going to start with murder. Let's start with some Christmas murder. So the first one I have is The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. So this is a novella that is a sequel, sort of, to her book, The Appeal, which is wonderful. I'm going to read, because I have not read the book, I am going to read the description from Goodreads. So I'm going to look over here, okay? Sorry to not keep eye contact, but here we go. This Christmas season has arrived in Lower Lockwood, and the Fairway players are busy rehearsing their festive holiday production of Jack and the Beanstalk to raise money for a new church roof. But despite the season, goodwill is distinctly lacking among the amateur theater enthusiasts, with petty rivalries, possibly asbestos-filled beanstalk, and some perennially absent players behind the scenes. Of course, there's also the matter of the dead body on stage. Who could possibly have had the victim on their naughty list? Join lawyers Femi and Charlotte as they investigate Christmas letters, examine emails, and pore over police transcripts to identify both the victim and killer before the curtain closes on their holiday production for good. So very much like The Appeal, I will say. I've not read this, so I cannot say this for sure. You want to read The Appeal first because, first of all, you'll be more... you'll know what to expect from a Janice Hallett book because it is a mixed media sort of book, and she's got a very certain style of writing, and you'll get to know these characters in The Appeal, but I don't know this for sure, but I also think they might spoil The Appeal in this book. So read that one first and then read The Christmas Appeal. But you should read The Appeal because it's a great book. So I'm really looking forward to this one. The next one, and I don't have a physical copy of it because it is actually a NetGalley book. As I said, I have a lot of NetGalleys, and I'm just reading them on my own time. And then I'm not going to ever get any more NetGalleys because it's killing me. But this one is The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson. Now, I have read Peter Swanson. I've read one Peter Swanson book, and I really enjoyed it. So I don't know why I haven't read more. Because he is pretty prolific. But this is a novella, obviously a Christmas novella. And I am not going to read the entire synopsis of this because I can just tell by looking at it, it might be a little bit spoilery. So I'm just going to read the part that sort of sets up the scene. Ashley Smith, an American art student in London for her junior year, was planning on spending Christmas alone, but a last-minute invitation from fellow student Emma Chapman brings her to Starwood Hall, country residence of the Chapman family. The Cotswold Manor House, festooned in pine boughs and crammed with guests for Christmas week, is a dream come true for Ashley. She is mesmerized by the cozy firelit house, the large family, and the charming village of Clevemoor, but also by Adam Chapman, Emma's aloof and handsome brother. So that's your setup. Plot ensues. If you really want to know, go look it up on Goodreads, but I just was reading through it and it sounded a little spoilery to me, so I don't want to go read any more of it, but I'm looking forward to that one. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. Has a little bit of romance, some murder, Christmas village. What more could you want? So those are my murder books. And then we go from murder to horror. And I have this collection. I just got this. Christmas and Other Horrors. These are, a winter solstice anthology. So it's scary Christmas stories. It includes stories by Stephen Graham Jones, Alma Katsu, Garth Nix. Those are the authors that jump out at me right away. I'm not sure. I mean, this is a pretty long book. There are about 20 stories in it. I'm hoping to get it done by Christmas, but we'll see. I think I have until December 31st on this one. I'm going to give myself the whole month for this one. But I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe this might have been sort of, Tannereve Dew is also in this one too. I think this might also, I did Other Horrors, which was like horror stories from marginalized authors earlier this year. I think this might be like a sister publication or done by the same people. I haven't looked that far, but I kind of feel like it might be. But I'm always up for a horror short story, as you know, if you've been watching this channel. Okay, now from horror, we're gonna go literary. And this is one that a lot of people have read, and I have, where'd it go? Here it is. I have purposely put it off until December. I have it on hold at the library, so I'm just waiting for it to come in. The hold releases on December 1st, so I'm hoping to get it soon after that. And it is a short story, so it's going to be easy to put in. And it is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. And let me read the beginning of this for you. It is 1985 in a small Irish town. During the weeks leading up to Christmas, Bill Furlong, a coal merchant and family man, faces into his busiest season. Early one morning, while delivering an order to the local convent, Bill makes a discovery which forces him to confront both his past and the complicit silences of a town controlled by the church. So I know this is a little bit of a darker story, but I'm okay with that. I've really been looking forward to reading this one. And as I said, I've kind of not let myself read it yet. So yeah, this one I'm hoping to get to soon. So I'm hoping that the library gets it to me really quickly. My final book, is that 6 or 7? I don't know. My final book is a rom-com. I'm not a huge rom-com person, to tell you the truth. However, this book has 2 authors, and one of them I have read 2 books by that I really liked both of them. And that particular author is also a Muslim writer, so she brings a different viewpoint to the season than my other books. So this one is 3 Holidays and a Wedding by Uzma Jalaluddin and Marissa Stapley. So I have read Jalaluddin's books, Hana Khan Carries On and Aisha at Last, and I really enjoyed both of them. So this is the synopsis of this one. Hold on a sec. 3 times the holiday magic, 3 times the chaos. As strangers and seatmates, Miriam Aziz and Anna Gibson fly to Toronto over the holidays. Miriam to her sister's impromptu wedding, and Anna to meet her boyfriend's wealthy family for the first time. Neither expect that severe turbulence will scare them into confessing their deepest hopes and fears to one another. Probably shouldn't read this one on a plane. Just if you're like me, you don't want to read this one on a plane. At least they'll never see each other again. And the love of Miriam's life, Saif, wasn't sitting 2 rows behind them, hearing it all. Oops. As an emergency landing finds Anna, Saif, and Miriam and her sister's entire bridal party snowbound at the quirky Snowfalls Inn in a picture-perfect town where fate has Anna's actor crush filming a holiday romance. As Miriam finds the courage to open her heart to Saif and Anna feels the magic of being snowbound with an unexpected new love, both women soon realize there's no place they'd rather be for the holidays. Rom-com, Hallmark movie, 2 things I don't really like, and yet I'm very excited about this book. And I think that's because I like Uzma Jalaluddin. So I do think this will have a interesting take on things. So I'm looking forward, also on hold the library, so hopefully I get it in soon. And so that's what I have for my holiday themed reading this December. Now I will read a lot of other stuff. I'm doing Remember December. I have some book club books. I have stuff that I was going to read earlier in the year and haven't. So I have other books coming, but I do plan to get, and a lot of these are really short. Like I have 2 novellas and a short story in here, in a short story collection. So, you know, I'm not talking like a lot of reading here. But I am looking forward to this, and I want to know if you have any holiday themed books up your sleeve for this December. If so, let me know down below, and I might just add it to the pile, maybe, or make a note of it to read it next year. So thank you very much. As I said, feel free to join my Discord down below, especially if you want to read Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk with Us, starting in 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.